Welcome everyone, I'm Jordan Sharp. We are finishing up our future odds updates here at Sportsbook Review for all 32 NFL teams. We're on the NFC South right now, taking a look at a team that did pretty well in that division last year but could not win it, and that is the New Orleans Saints, who come in as the favorite to win that division this season, and a pretty big Super Bowl favorite as well at 14-1 right now from Bovada Sportsbook. Now, that's a pretty solid price for the New Orleans Saints. They're one of the top 8 teams at Bovada to win the Super Bowl this season, and after them, very steep drop off to the Eagles at plus 2,500 from 1,400. So there does seem to be a favorite 8 here for the sports books in line for the Super Bowl future odds, but I'm not quite sure if the Saints really qualify to be in that top 8 group. They're still going to be a very excellent football team this season, don't get me wrong. Drew Brees obviously puts any of his teams in position to win, and with Jimmy Graham now locked up into a new contract, not really a whole lot of worries in that realm. However, there are a couple of areas where the Saints really struggled last year. It was one of the reasons why they lost the division to the Carolina Panthers, and it could be one of the reasons why they aren't such a good Super Bowl bet here this offseason, heading to their NFC price at plus 750 as well. Not quite sure I'm ready to bet the Saints to win the NFC this season, with teams like the Packers, Seahawks, and 49ers looming above them. Teams like the Bears looking at the same price, looking pretty solid as well. New Orleans last season could not run the ball to save their life. And they also couldn't stop the run very well either, which was a big problem for this team, especially when teams came up against them and would just run the ball consistently to keep the ball out of the hands of Drew Brees. And that's one of the big areas and concerns for me this season, because they haven't done a whole lot to remedy that here this offseason. And at plus 750 to win the NFC, plus 1,400 to win the Super Bowl, I'm not quite sure those concerns warrant enough to really be pushed aside and bet this team to win either their conference or the Super Bowl this season. Now, the NFC South and their divisional price right there is a little bit of a different story at even money right now. Plus 100 from Bovada Sportsbook are the New Orleans Saints and to win the NFC South. And I think one of the bigger question marks in this division is whether or not any team is going to challenge the New Orleans Saints, because this division was actually tough last season with the Carolina Panthers winning 12 games and beating out the Saints, forcing them into a wild card confrontation, which they won, of course, with the Eagles. However, with the Panthers likely down, Falcons and Bucks likely not up enough, the Saints do actually seem like a pretty good price here at even money to win this division. I was suspecting that they would be in the chalk a lot more than what they currently are, obviously, which is none. And the next highest team are the Panthers at plus 325 and the Falcons at plus 350. Sportsbooks are seeming to think that the Saints have a pretty good shot at winning this division this season, and I would not be opposed at all, even with the concerns I have with them for deeper into the playoffs. I think the Saints can turn things around and win this division this year. You're not going to see the Panthers win 12 games again this year. I think 10 wins is going to be enough to win this division. I think the Saints can easily get there in 2014. But that'll do it for me this time. Make sure you check out my other future odds updates here at SBR Forum. But until then, I'm Jordan Sharp, and this has been another edition of the Sharp Pick.